G'day guys, Brandon here from Zone, and today I'm gonna show you how to get the funk out of your motherfunking funk. See what I did there? Funk, yeah. Let's face it, life can suck. Sometimes it feels like everything is just turning up Millhouse, and then all of a sudden life comes along and decides to kick you square in the balls. Not only that, piss on you while you're down there. Now, why does this happen? Well, if you're a human being watching this video right now, you understand that things don't always go as rosy and as peachy as some of our fondest memories. Now, it's natural through a tough time to hide, repress, and deny the problems at hand. It's human nature. But psychologists and psychiatrists coin this as escape behavior. And escape behavior can come in many forms, whether that's drinking, alcohol, drugs, adrenaline, infidelity. I mean, there's so many symptoms of someone wanting to escape their reality. However, it doesn't have to be that way. And I'm gonna introduce you guys to a book that absolutely has just changed the way that I look at tough times and has given me the ability and some tools to look at things in a whole new light with a whole new fortitude of resilience. So stay to the end of this video because I'm going to show you how you can get your hands on a signed copy of this book. Now, if you're like me and consistently want to evolve and grow and look at new ways in which to expand your consciousness, the way you do things, give yourself some new tools in life, then you like to read. And 2 weeks ago, a book arrived in the mail called Everyone Has a Plan Till Hits the Fan, How Not to Be a of Your Brain. And it's written by the author, who is Tofe Evans. And Tofe Evans is an endurance athlete as well as philanthropist who puts himself through ridiculously physically strenuous performances to raise much needed awareness and funds for particular individuals, funds, and charities. For example, he did the world's highest ultramarathon from the base of Everest, and I think someone passed away on that race. It was that tough. I mean, this guy is made of serious tough stuff. And this book talks all about resilience. But the thing that stood out to me more than anything was how Tofe turns around his story of being addicted to drugs and drinking and partying and basically throwing his young life down the drain, how he turned that energy and focus onto a different form of escapism. And so rather than using drugs and alcohol as his escape behavior, he turned that energy into performance and endurance racing. So how does a young 20-something go from completely self-destructive behaviors of root and drink and drug and wrong people, wrong environments? How does someone like that gain the perspective to be able to turn his natural ability and talents around for a higher purpose? Well, when he almost overdosed on recreational drugs, something switched in his mind. He identified that there was a power within himself that he could transfer onto others. Why would he waste his young life when he could use his abilities to change the lives of others? So how does this book and Tofe's story have any relevance towards you and the funk that you're in right now? Well, here's a personal story. Back in 2015-ish, I was having a little bit of a tough time with my folks. Couldn't relate to them in many ways. I felt like they couldn't understand me, where I was coming from and where I was going, and we seemed to be at odds. Now, I saw an opportunity to work at an organization called Paradise Kids. There was a mentoring program where they were mentoring boys who had been stricken by grief in their life. For example, lost a mum, lost a sibling, they themselves have had a terminal illness. And what that experience allowed me to understand was, here are these little souls that are learning to cope and grieve from extremely unfortunate circumstances, and here I am complaining about the 2 living healthy parents that I can call right now. And then a switch flicked in me and made me understand, oh my gosh, one of the #1 drivers in life is perspective. And so Tofe went from completely throwing his life down the drain to change perspective and go, wait a second, yes, I have depression, yes, I have a drug and alcohol issue, but at the end of the day, my circumstances aren't as bad as others. Now, it's important to understand we don't want to take away from anything that you've experienced or anything you're going through. No one's going to take your experience and weigh them against someone else's experience. However, if you have the capacity and the ability for empathy and compassion, you know that there are people out there that could use a hand. And if you're watching this video and you desperately want to get out of that dark, dirty, nasty funk of a bubble that you're living in right now, one of the best things you can do is ask yourself, what can I do today to add to someone else's joy? What can I do today to add to someone else's joy. Because when you change your mindset to a fixed mindset on the horrible things that are happening in your world to a mindset of service, you will be amazed at how the tough, scary, sad things that are happening in your life seem a bit smaller and smaller and smaller. Because what you've done at the end of the day is you have finally stepped outside of your mess to go help someone clean up theirs. And in doing so, will remind yourself just how capable you are of doing that in your own life in different circumstances. So instead of looking at the little embers that you have in your world and trying to desperately keep them alive, put those aside for one moment to go into someone else's world with good intentions, with a mindset of service, and stoke their embers, because you will be amazed how that act alone will help you build the belief that things can be turned around, that journeys aren't experienced alone, and that there are people out there that are willing to help you the same way that you're willing to help someone else. So there you have it. The answer to how you get out of your funk is not going to be found inside your dark little mess. It's going to be found out there. You're going to need to step outside your little world for just a moment to go be of service in someone else's. Because when you help someone grow to their full potential that you know they're capable of doing, you're going to experience something in that moment that allows you to look backwards at your funk and at your tough little situation, knowing that in fact you've had the ability to get out of there the entire time. You just couldn't find the solution from the inside. You had to step outside to gain the perspective, the tools, and the confidence in yourself to get yourself out of that place. You can only find that in being of service to others, in turn to yourself. Now, being a man of my word, I promised you at the beginning of this video that if you stuck with me to the end, I was going to show you how you could get your hands on a copy of Tofe's book. Now, I'm going to post links of how you can purchase it off Amazon. However, after reading the book, I reached out to Tofe and we spoke for a while, and after hearing about what we're doing at Zone and the lives we want to change and the impact that we want to have on this world, he told me that if one of you comments on this video of an experience where you had to overcome some serious stuff and you had to use resilience, grit, and determination to dig yourself out of that place, if you share that in the comment section below, Tofe is going to pick the #1 comment. And when he reads that comment, he's going to identify who you are, where you live, and you can expect a signed copy with a personal message of everyone has a plan until hits the fan. So guys, thank you for joining me on this video. It's important to understand that you're not alone. If you're a human, you experience funks, and like all things, this too shall pass. Now, before you go, there may be someone in your world that could use a helping hand, and you may have been looking at ways in which you can help them, support them, and help bring them out of their funk and their dark place. Well, one of the best things you can do is order them this book. I'm telling you, it's an absolute game changer. Even if they don't read it, the gesture alone will tell them that you've got their back and that you're in their corner. And if you've got some gold out of this video, give it a share, give it a like, give it a comment, because you never know. Someone in your world who's happy, jovial, everything seems to be going great for them, you never know. Behind the smile and behind the jokes, someone could be really battling. And just simply you sharing this video could mean the difference between them staying there or them becoming the person that you know they're capable of becoming. Until next time, guys, my name is Brandon, founder of Zone, and I will see you on the next one.